All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for our February edition. Hopefully, people will be at GDC next month and we can say hi. We're kind of taking bets internally as to whether or not it'll still happen. But we're proceeding as planned.
Or if anyone will actually show up. I'm calling it. I'm saying 15,000 people at GDC this year. That's my prediction.
What's the normal show?
25 to 30.
Okay.
I'm gonna say drop by half.
That's still not a bad showing by any means. So.
Sure. That's I'm just gonna call it. putting my stick in the sand.
If you are going to be at GDC, I'm kind of skipping ahead in our agenda, but we've got a little gathering we're doing Monday night for people that are, interested in infra and ops and game development. And oh, look, you moved it. Thank you. And also open source. So please join us. Simple form to fill out. It's going to be at the Google Launchpad space, which is just like 2 blocks down from Moscone. So hopefully you'll be able to walk in our glorious weather if that continues. It's either going to be glorious still or it'll be raining like all of March, one of the two, which we do need the rain. So, but that's our plan for GDC. So please join us.
Yeah, and you guys don't actually care if you're going to GDC or not. Just like you could show up anyways, because I am not going to GDC.
Oh, we are more than welcome.
Yeah, no badge required. This is totally independent of GDC. So
okay,
I have literally told teammates, like people I know who are like, my company's not letting me go to GDC, and I'm like, well, technically this isn't a GDC event, but if you're in San Francisco anyway and you have something you want to do on Monday night, I'm just saying. So that's fine. Cool. My turn?
Yeah, you want to talk about the release?
The release came out. Yay, finally. Of course, it's the middle of our perf season here at Google, so it got delayed by a little bit. Also, sometimes it just slips. Big things on the release candidate. Upgrade to Kubernetes 1.14. Woo! Finally. We got a little held up on the upgrade, basically because Amazon still hasn't pushed out 1.15, although I think they're looking at 1.16, 1.17 already. So I don't know how that's working. So we made an executive decision to just make the move. So far everything looks fine, but that's what we're doing all our testing on. And we'll change some stuff internally as well, but it won't break anything. Probably in the next release as we move into 1.5. If you are using the allocator or the multi-cluster allocator for anything, which I don't think anyone is. But if you are, that just switched from a REST API to gRPC API, so you will need to change your endpoint configuration for that. Outside of that, what other notable things in there? The game server allocation policy CRD is now stable if you're using the multi-cluster stuff. But I don't think anyone actually is. We actually have an NPM package now on actual NPM. So if you're using Node, that's way nicer than it was before. Thanks to everyone who helped out on that actually and provided guidance on the right way to do that. Which is fun. We have more stuff in the Unreal SDK, so allocate and reserves are now there. We have a new example in Super Tux Kart. So if you ever need an example that's not shooty like Sonotic is, and you want to do more racy, that's now available as well, which is fun. We have the very beginnings of player tracking, but there's nothing that you can actually touch other than it's just kind of sitting in there. There's some more. Yeah, the Unreal SDK is actually
Sorry, Mark. What was the player tracking? I don't know what that is.
Okay, so we have a feature request in there for when we can track when people connect and disconnect from game servers as part of the SDK. So you can start to track when people are there, how many people you have inside a game server, if you want to are you at capacity or not, which will then start leading into other fun things like, hey, I would like a game server that has room for 3 people, and it doesn't matter whether it's allocated already. So we've started on that work. There's nothing that's actually tangible for users yet, but that stuff it's slowly moving forward.
Oh, so this is like something that's like a persistent world rather than a match-based thing?
Yeah, and depending again, like it could either be like persistent world in that aspect where if you want that, there's also use cases I can see where like maybe you have a sessions-based game that you strongly backfill as well. You could use it in that sort of stuff as well. So
okay,
there's a variety.
I was just wondering what overlap there would be with Open Match on that.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. They're having a lot of conversations at Open Match about like what's the appropriate way to do backfill operations. So I think this will probably tie into that too as well. Commonly, backfill is often happen for the game server reaching out and being like, "Hey, I need a an extra person or two people or something, and then please provide me one." Once we have the player tracking, we actually don't need to tie that to a game server at all. We could actually just look at states inside game servers themselves because we have the numbers of players. And so we have a really nice decoupling there. And you don't have to integrate just tightly anymore. That's a good question. Anything else that immediately stands out? Oh, and we have a bunch of stuff in here for if bad things happen when your Agones controller shuts down and then people play with the other state that's happening inside your Kubernetes cluster and it comes back up again. That should be a whole lot better now. So ideally, the controller doesn't shut down ever and nothing bad ever happens. But if it does, it should come back to a much happier state eventually and come back to a healthy state and self-heal after a while. I think that's pretty much all the big stuff. Some stuff on the Unity SDK, further bits and pieces. A bunch of stuff moved to debug and logging. You can check all the changelog. Anyway, that's lots of fun stuff. That's me. That's done.
Oh, I just
Like,
on that release candidate, we can install via Helm. Is that right?
Sorry?
We can install the release candidate via Helm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's you can see the RC if you Helm search. If you just do a repo update, all the RCs are always there.
I think next was Doug had a question.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, Mark was already aware of it because I've been chatting on the issues, but I just wanted to bring it up again because, as I mentioned there. Now, as far as I understand with the Unreal plugin, did someone just contribute that and then other contributors kind of maintained it? You guys aren't like actively maintaining it yourselves, right?
We have, I'd be completely honest, we have a distinct lack of Unreal knowledge on the team that's working on this stuff. So it's been primarily driven by the community, yes.
Yeah, it's because like there was some pretty huge bugs in it that have been fixed in the latest one, which is nice.
Yay!
But
thank you.
It didn't compile in 1.3.0, and then it looked like it wasn't going to compile in 1.4.0, and that's for my build configuration. It kind of depended on what set of build settings you were using. But if we had if we just had a Windows machine, like maybe I could do that work in the background or something just to get it like, compiling at least, not even with tests or anything.
Yeah, this becomes a fun issue as well. We don't have a CI system that works with Windows at this point. So there's that, which is also fun. But yeah, I was chatting with April as well. I think yesterday we were talking about how we need to get some legal counsel on the licenses that are available for Unreal and how that would work inside this kind of environment.
So, I mean, literally, like if you do Cloud Build, it can just, I don't know how Cloud Build works because I haven't used it. That's the CI system, right?
Yeah, that's what we're using at the moment. It's all Linux based. You can basically run any command line tool.
So if you could have SSH on a Windows server and then start some process there, that's all I was thinking. Something like as simple as that.
That would work quite well, actually.
Because there's that's what I do for my build bot with Unreal. Is it's just like running a command that Unreal provides that builds the world, and then it would just tell you whether it worked or not. And you could run some tests if you wanted to, but at least we could start with that.
I really like that idea a lot. I think the biggest blocker is we just need to get confirmation on the licensing because they have restrictions around commercial usage, and we are a large multinational corporation. That's all. But yeah, April, are you going to look into that?
Yes, I will. I was trying to get some time with our lawyers.
That's
Heard the lawyer cats.
We might even be able to do it on Linux because you could compile.
I've tried that before. You don't want to go there, man.
Yeah. Okay.
You really don't. I thought that's how it was going to work, but it's like when you want to build for Linux, you actually do a cross compile from Windows. They have like a whole cross compiling tool chain that's like integrated. I think in theory you could do what you're saying, but it's not like the supported path. So unless you want to be like dealing with a lot of weird stuff, it's like don't even go there.
I've installed Unreal on a Linux machine before and been like, look, it opens, but I think that's about as far as I've got.
Yeah, that's not what they're working on. So that's why I don't do it. It's like I'll let them deal with the majority of the bugs. And
cool. Let's just write that down as a note. Yeah, we have a similar issue with Unity, although the Linux support is better, like with around licensing and legal issues. They're an actual commercial product in many ways, so we need to work out what we're going to do there. Then we actually need to write some automation tests and whatnot.
I think next is Jess.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey. So I haven't been in this meeting before, so I'm excited to be here. But my name is Jess, and I'm a user experience researcher at Google. So I just want to give you a couple of minutes of some information on a project that we're starting up for Agones. And I'll just tell you a little bit about maybe what a UX researcher does. I hope I don't talk down on you if you've already experienced working with a UX researcher. But basically, I do a lot of interviews and surveys and usability studies, things like that, basically trying to improve Google's products. I work on Google Cloud specifically and specifically on gaming stuff. And so we want to do a bit of a study on Agones. The goal of it is to improve both the Agones community experience, so the experience that you have as being community members, but also to get your say on what kind of features the Google team should be spending their time on, like what's most important to you, what's least important to you, and then also gathering some other information about how you're using Agones. So I've got a survey set up, and I'd love if you folks on the call and others in the community would be able to fill out the survey. It's not quite ready. I hoped that it would be ready like today, but it'll be ready on like Tuesday. So in about 4 or 5 days, I'm gonna get probably Mark to like send you a link to this survey, and I would really appreciate it if you can take some time to fill it out. Your feedback is like super valuable for the team, and helps us make sure that we're spending our time on the things that help you the most. So yeah, that's my little spiel. Any questions or thoughts or anything on that?
Make sure there's a question that says, does Unreal Engine plugin compile?
Yeah, may not be that specific, but yeah. So thanks so much. Yeah,
definitely. Please look out for it, just because it'll probably help drive a lot of what our feature development is into the future. So it'll set our priorities for the year.
We're just super excited that Agones has like a UX researcher. So thank you, Jess, for helping out, because that's super awesome. And that's a perk that not many open source projects get. So we're very excited.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Thank you. I don't see, the problem is Robbie's not here. So there's nobody to go through all of the open issues and like.
Are you trying to suggest that I should be doing that?
No, I'm just speaking to how valuable Robbie is as a team member.
Oh, actually, could I interrupt about open issues real fast?
Absolutely.
So, Mark, that flaky bug.
Yes, it's driving me crazy.
So I ran it overnight, which is probably costing me a lot of money, by the way. But it's run on my machine 962 times in a row with no problem. Is it the E test, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but it fails. So the only thing I can think of is like there's some other test that crosses over with it somehow.
That's what I'm thinking. Like it's a dependency problem in the cloud build itself.
Or there's another end-to-end test that's running at the same time. I am struggling to work out what that is.
Against that cluster, 2 end-to-end tests are running on the same one.
Multiple end-to-end tests running.
I'll try that.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to reproduce it at this point.
Yeah. On the I'll put a link on it because it's. I have some stuff. There's a draft pull request. where I was just trying out random stuff. Yeah, like I saw your notes on there. Like the UDP thing definitely goes through because I can see in the logs that it also makes the request, and I don't know why. I don't know why.
What the main question I had was,
Yeah.
what about my configuration is different than where it's running? And is it possible that we have like multiple builds running at the same time, or are they like supposed to be sequential?
So they're
and are they all using the same cluster to do their work on?
Yes, they're all doing it in the same cluster. Call it. So I'll give some context to the people who are listening. So we have this flaky test called test game reserve. Literally what it does is throws a game server into reserve state for about 10 seconds. Cannot fill, but and from everything I see, it looks like it is actually working somehow. But the test never passes.
Sometimes doesn't pass.
Sometimes, but like super rarely. Or not maybe that rarely, or rarely enough to just be very annoying. So yeah, so to answer your question, yes, other stuff goes on in cloud build at the same time. That shouldn't matter, I don't think, because we do have some stuff that does run in like parallels for time saving.
I mean, it made me think of the classic makefile problem when you parallelize something, but your dependencies aren't right. And then you get like builds that just fail once in a while.
Yeah, I would be more inclined to think it's that there's a parallel end-to-end test that's running, just because that would probably run over.
I'll try that at least after all. I'll try and just run like n number of these end-to-end tests on my cluster and see what happens.
The one thing I wanted to do is, because I've accessed the end-to-end cluster, which is also nice, is actually review, if I catch another one, is review the events that go through. Because if you look at the event stream for a game server, you can see what state it goes to and when, and to actually check to see that it actually goes to a reserve state. If for some reason it's not, that could actually just be a bug in like the test game server. I don't know. Yeah. I've got, yeah. No, it's driving me up the wall. It is literally driving me up the wall. Yeah, so you can see in the log there, you like everything works as expected. It gets the UDP packet, as you can said, like it comes back around, so you can see that it's there. Yeah, I feel like I'm chasing red flags. But yeah, if you've come up with any ideas, I will definitely take it. What else is on the list of things, outstanding issues?
Does anybody have any questions or anything they wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
So there was this Node.js SDK issue but I think the ticket's sort of gone a bit quiet. It's the guy, I think it's the SDK gRPC servers timing out after an hour.
I did some hunting on that. I did throw some potential ideas. It seems to be a sort of gRPC wide issue. But we haven't heard anything back. It's actually a good question.
I was kind of interested in the reporter tracking it down because it seemed like it was fine with the version 1.1 of Agones. Like,
you haven't heard anything back from it.
So I'll post in the, here we go. On the ticket.
Sorry, what was the issue? What number?
There. Oh, that's too big.
1299.
Thank you. There we go. Apply. It comes back with this enhance your comm, which is like, I don't understand what that means. Yeah, haven't heard anyone back. I last year actually was a while ago. And I touched back like 14 days ago about a few potential options for configuring some headers for like really long-lived gRPC things. Apparently, I was doing some digging on this, and apparently, like this like enhance your calm thing is like meant to be normal sometimes, but other SDKs seem to just take it in stride and just be like, cool. Whereas Node will just be like, I die now. Though I'm not entirely sure on that. There was a couple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there was a couple. There was permit keep alive with calls and permit keep alive time, and like lowering that value. I found, yeah, I did. I found like a Java user who had a very similar problem and ended up solving it by like tweaking those values.
Is this something a user can set, or is this something that we kind of bake in?
We would need to bake it in, I think. We should probably leave. We could actually do a test and just leave a game server like with the sample. Do we have it? What does our node sample do? We could probably.
We might need to have one that stays running. I think that might shut down afterwards.
Stick it in a cluster and see what happens to it. Just let it sit there. Examples. There we go. Is our node example shut down after a bit? It does. Okay, that's not useful.
So the only official documentation I found on this was this. So literally it's a rate limit response someone's returning.
Yeah.
And that causes the client or the Node SDK to crash.
It causes it to just like, disconnect.
So is this just an upstream Node gRPC problem?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, if they're pinging too many times, that seems like a completely reasonable response.
Yeah, in which case just slow down and like it's fine.
Enhance your calm.
Yeah. Where did that? But yeah, apparently that got fixed in like 2018, but I don't know what's going on. So we could slow down some of those values and see if it makes a difference. But we need someone to sort of test it. The other option, of course, is like, every 10 minutes we reconnect everything, but that just seems really icky.
Maybe some kind of soak test sample. The thing is, I guess the user with the issue, we don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're like repeatedly subscribing, like calling watch or something like that.
Like over and over again or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not, Stephen, you're still not using the SDK, are you? You're using your own REST stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, it's because we started out on REST and then we didn't change it. And,
actually,
yeah, maybe I can look at a long running sample and then we can just, I guess we can have multiple examples in that folder.
Well,
right?
actually, what you could do is actually just have in the thing, just have an argument you could pass through to not like disconnect at the end, and then it could just sit there and like just do stuff. That's probably the nicer option. Because we do that now with like the UDP one. We just have a variety of args that go through for a variety of options that we want for various testing scenarios. So and on that, that's a good suggestion. Add some arguments.
Oh, speaking of arguments to tests, is that what you were just saying? Sorry, I was looking at something else.
Yeah, for the node example.
tests have a controller failure tests that come right after the ETE integration tests. And so if you just want to run a single integration test like I did, you can't do it, even though you can pass arguments to it and give it like the go run filter so that you can run a single unit test, like speed up the problem.
So I'm not sure I follow what you just said.
Okay. So you know how you can do make E2E tests?
Yep.
And then you can say args equals something to pass arguments into the test so that you can tell the Go test runner to run a specific test.
Oh, got it.
Someone put the controller failure tests right after that. And so it makes the whole thing super slow all the time. So I split that apart in a branch. I don't know if you guys are interested in taking that. But
you can actually just go test the end-to-end test. Like you don't have to use make if you don't want to. Oh, because you're using the Docker build stuff and then it floats through.
Yeah, dude, there was way too much down the rabbit hole. So
that's fair enough. That's reasonable.
But yeah, so in my branch, I just made E2E test the same as it used to be, but then it depends on 2 other tests, each of which you can run independently as well, so that you can pass arguments to it.
Got it. That sounds nice. Yeah, I had to make it run afterwards because I thought the way Go test work was not the way Go test works. I thought if I didn't have it set as parallel, then it would happen before everything, and then it didn't. But Go will compile every individual test file and then run them in parallel. And so, like, I was having this controller test failure happening in the middle of regular tests, and it was making all sorts of weird things happen. so had to completely spit it out.
So is that an artifact of one problem you thought you had, or is that actually necessary still?
It is necessary that it runs afterwards, yes.
Okay.
Anything else we want to cover?
Other fun things that we got.
By the way, we have an image parameter for end-to-end tests, so we expect that all example servers would pass end-to-end tests, or
no.
Yeah, okay. But probably at least Node.js should pass. I think
end-to-end test. I don't think because it the simple UDP takes a variety of commands by the UDP that any other examples do.
Sure, this kind of exit and others already. Yeah, like. But possibly there is an option to have some in some bug or subset of tests which should pass for everyone, every image. I think if I interrupt you for a moment, I was thinking on 573 issue, and this one about the performance testing, and for performance testing there was two options mentioned. One was by Jarek, and also Ilker, or some guys add. So there was two kind of performance tests, and some of them are long running tests. It is not yet merged. It's and what it is doing. It is continually doing allocations, and then servers goes to shutdown, and then allocate more servers. This and another one is stress tests ETE, and just notice there is Mako def is one that I just got an update on this, so we can have some kind of performance benchmarks and regression tests using this framework. So I will continue next season on all of this. Yeah, and for Fortio, there is an option to make a simple option to make one dashboard for every major release with the same tests, and then just to think how to interpret the result. If they would be useful.
Yeah, I think they would be useful. Like especially the one that's I kind of built the original one, which kind of Robbie took over, and I think I sync up with you on offline, Alex. So that helped us to figure out a bunch of things. Was not really obvious when you just run a one-off test, but this ones keep on basically having let's say 10,000 game servers, and then you allocate them in a very short period, and then game servers, I mean, we just changed the simple UDP just to die after 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So a game service becomes available and you allocate again. So it continues doing it over days, weeks. So you see if there's any leaks happening in the Agones. So you don't expect any game servers left behind. And like you also want to check that the allocation performance doesn't degrade over time. So there are a few things to, I mean, having a dashboard to kind of see between the versions of the Agones that doesn't go down or change, hopefully improves, but if it doesn't go down. So I think having per version of that kind of a snapshot will be really helpful. I think another way of checking. So it won't be like a pre-submit. So it should be a kind of a continuously running with the latest version. Something like that. That will be definitely give us a better, I mean, for the people wants to use Agones in production, it'll give better confidence that Agones is stable enough to run in production over extended periods.
Yeah. So this for long running tests, and they the way to analyze was Grafana, yeah, and metrics to and some performance, like how many allocations we have. Yeah, okay. We need just to document this option, have some job or some bash script to some ideally way to run against the commit ID or something like that.
Yeah. And then we just got to work out how we want to do this on a regular basis, whether we end up actually using Prowl or we just kind of hack Cloud Build or something.
Yeah. And also we should try to not to keep on refreshing the Agones versions like daily or hourly, like maybe keep it in some stable version, test it for a week, looks good, then move on to the next version or latest version. So because if we keep refreshing Agones, if issues may not come up, because if something is leaking, it will not surface if you just keep on installing a new version of Agones from the head.
Would you run, Ilka, would you run like the daily build like once a night or something like that? Or is that you want to run it for longer, you want to run it for like a week?
I mean, I think that it can be both. I think having it, I mean, you can have one that runs daily that you can see if something really changed dramatically. And like you can stop the problem. Hey, the last build we just picked up seems to be degrading pretty badly, so maybe you have to kind of figure out before we just keep on adding more features on it. But also we can have one that we only install the weekly version, so you can kind of look at from both aspects. So I think it will be nice to have both of them, if possible. But not hourly or not. I mean, like a few times a day, basically. It will not be helpful, I guess.
No, I agree. I think we'd find a way to like basically have maybe do an evening snapshot for 24 hours.
Yeah. And also, like one Sunday evening, you just have another one. Then use that one for the next week until the next Sunday.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. I like that a lot. So, in other breaking news, Unity and Microsoft are pulled out of GDC.
Sounds like Google's a bad actor then.
No, at this point, it's just going to be us and a bunch of indies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might actually come this year.
It could be fun, you know.
Now we just need an earthquake. It'll be perfect.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have any sessions. I don't know if they have any speakers.
Hey, Mark, I just wanted to mention I ran that in parallel and hit the bug right away.
Oh, there you go. At least there's something.
Yeah. So I updated the bug. You can see the output from each one.
So, Stephen, you're obviously traveling soon, but were you planning to come to GDC?
No, because I think I'll be heading back before it starts. Our CEO will be there, though, Ed. So
it'll be there.
I know several people from, like, you know, Australia and other places where it takes forever to get here that are on their way now and just doing like a tour of the US along the way. Well, that's it'll be interesting.
It will. Here, I'll send you since we're sitting here.
While Mark is typing, what's everybody playing these days? Well, that's rude. I mean, you're just not going to share with the rest of the class?
Well, no, it's going to be in this.
I know, I'm teasing. What's everybody playing these days? What are we up to? No one's playing anything.
I've gone back to Metal Gear Solid 5. For a while, it was annoying me, and then I've got to a point now where I can make lots of money, and so I don't mind.
You're getting paid to play?
No, I've reached the point in the game where you have certain things in the game that enable you to make enough money that money is no longer really a problem, and so now I'm able to buy all the things that I want and not get nearly as frustrated with the game.
I thought this is where you were going to tell us you were leaving development to be a streamer full time now.
Well, I wanted to be a full-time YouTube star, but I'm too old, I think is basically the gist.
I don't know. I mean, we're pretty entertaining, so
I think so.
Yeah. I ordered a new gaming laptop. It was supposed to arrive yesterday according to the UPS tracking. The UPS guy came to the house. I put the dogs up. I, was ready. I opened the door and then they just drove past and I was like, wait.
Did they come back?
No, apparently it's supposed to come today now.
Oh, okay.
So, boo on UPS.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see today. And yeah. So if I'm offline this afternoon, that's why.
That's why.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll have to get it set up. So if you have any strong PC game recommendations other than Stardew Valley, which is pretty much where it's at, that and Destiny 2 are the only two that I really have. But Destiny's been on Stadia, but I have people who play on PC, so I'll be able to play with them. If you're interested, there's a good group of Kubernetes people that are playing Destiny together, and we'll try to get something going. We could have our own little Agones plan, but I don't know if anybody else is playing anything exciting.
Doug, did you see that command that I posted in chat?
Yes, I was just running it right now. I actually had started another test, so I hope that didn't screw it up.
The events should still be there. I want to know that that was the only thing I thought of actually this morning, just to see if the actual state change happens.
Okay, I got results back. I'll paste them in the bug.
Thank you.
It's weird. No one on our call plays any games. That's fine.
It's just because I play League of Legends and I'm a little embarrassed. Sorry.
Why are you embarrassed?
Because it's been around for like a billion years. It doesn't change. It's just like, I don't even know if I like it, but I play it.
Hey. My interest range from Destiny to there's this mobile game called Design Home where you design rooms. So we have all the varieties here. All gamers welcome.
Yeah, I play Minecraft too.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
No, I mean the design room game. That's like what you do in
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's I started playing it when we moved and we're getting new furniture. And so now my husband the other day wanted like a new nightstand. He was like, can you just find something in your game? I was like, you realize it's not real life, right? Like I can't just pull something out of the game and it appears.
That would seem like a really good monetization strategy though.
Well, actually they do use real furniture. So you can go buy it. But yeah, it was just kind of humorous. But yeah.
Well, I'll just tell you all my embarrassing thing that I pre-ordered Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing? I was totally going to ask.
I'm going to take a day off when I get it to just play Animal Crossing. I've been waiting way too long for this, but yeah, that's my embarrassing thing. So.
Well, I pre-ordered Mavericks and I never get to play it because it went out of business.
Oh. Yeah, it's not embarrassing at all. Animal Crossing is what I really loved was the interaction on Twitter, if you didn't see it, between the Animal Crossing account and the Doom account.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did see that. That was adorable.
They got the same release date, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they have the same release date. And then now, like, I guess I'm not super into Animal Crossing, but of course I'm intrigued now because it's cute animals. But I guess the main character, Isabelle, has gone AWOL. And so Doom has been tweeting the Animal Crossing account, like, what did you do with Isabelle? And it's just really funny. I love that kind of interaction. I think it's great.
Apparently, like, the Reddit communities on both of them as well have been, like, super loving to each other.
Any sort of, like, wholesomeness in a video game arena, like, we have to embrace that. That's amazing. So.
Yeah, and I'm still playing Witcher 3, and I think this is the biggest storyline I ever seen. Yeah,
I bought like all the Witchers when Steam had a sale recently, but I haven't played them yet, so I need to install them all on the new PC and get started.
Yeah, they have.
I played Witcher 2 for all about 3 seconds the other day.
Yeah, they have like Nintendo Switch, I think. Integration and some, so they continue support Witcher 3.
Yeah, we've gotten to the point at my TV where like I'm out of HDMI ports between the PlayStation, Stadia, and Nintendo. So it's like I'm having to unplug Nintendo to plug Stadia back in. So like we need a TV now that has like 10 HDMI ports. If that does not exist yet, I am sure it will soon. It'll be at E3 next year or something.
If E3 happens, because being really cynical about this stuff at the moment.
What were we saying yesterday? This is our new world. Like this is just gonna be. There's always gonna be something. I'm a fan of online conferences. Mark is not a fan.
But it's fine.
I think, we're having an online meeting and we're able to, chat, get to know each other. So I think there's, this online thing, I think it's going to work. I think it's going to stick around. Doug has updated the bug.
Doug has updated the bug and it's looking like everything is correct. So like, what? So
it's possessed is what I'm hearing.
10 seconds. Yeah, so it is doing the thing. Yeah, I don't understand.
Should we do a bug bounty to whoever can figure this out?
It's at that point where I'm like, if somebody seriously, if somebody could work this out, I will take you out for dinner.
Or you can get a free pass to GDC.
Going cheap.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And the second prize is 2 free passes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Or Google Cloud credits to run the cluster. Just saying. I'm paying my own money right now.
Use preemptible VMs. Are you using
please.
preemptibles?
No, I'm not, because I didn't want that to be the reason the test failed.
Okay. I was doing tests on preemptible VMs and I've just left it and it's been fine.
Yeah, usually it's fine, but then when something goes wrong, you're always in the back of your mind, huh?
Yeah.
I also tried to switch it to the E2 high CPU instances to save a few bucks.
Yeah.
Ran out of memory. So the test failed. So I had to go back to the standard instances.
Fine. Well, at least GitHub's not down anymore.
Was it down earlier today?
It was earlier today, yes.
Oh, I know it had been earlier this week, but I didn't.
Yeah.
It's a rough day for the computers.
Yep.
All right, well, we've got 10 minutes left. Do we have anything else we want to cover, or should we give everybody 10 minutes back?
I'm good. I don't know how everyone else feels.
Yeah, I'll take my 10 minutes back.
Yeah, we'll probably see you all online next month. Hopefully in person, but if not, we'll be back here our usual time next month. So, and yeah, we'll be chatting on the Slacks and the Twitters and all that good stuff in between them. So, thanks everyone for joining, and we will see you soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.